Want to see a magic trick? Abracadabra! Alakazam! What we have in front of us today is Cambridge Audio's new MXN10 and AXN10 network players. Equipped with Cambridge Audio's Stream Magic app and every other trick in the book, these two little and not so little nuggets are sure to help you take your stereo setup to the next level. So join me on our journey into the mystical land of high-res digital audio. Cambridge Audio is no stranger to the streaming world, and no stranger to us here at Worldwide Stereo either. One of the most popular pieces of gear is the CXN V2, which is a fantastic music streamer. And at its core for functionality is the Stream Magic app, a companion piece of software that works with not just their music streamers, but also with their smart integrated amps, the EVO 150 and EVO 75. Cambridge also has impressed me with their support of high-res digital codecs and their turntables. They clearly are no stranger to the digital audio world. Knowing this, I had high hopes for the two XN10s in front of me. Right away, I knew I was looking at a couple of Cambridge Audio pieces. A lunar gray front plate with a dark gray anodized exterior. If you've seen their AX or CX series of amplifiers, you know these fit right in with the same aesthetic. In fact, I believe that's the reason we have two of these guys instead of just one. More on that later. In the box with each unit, you get the same minimal amount of accessories. A power cable, two wireless antennas per streamer, packed into an eco-friendly material I might add, and some documentation. No cables other than the power cable come with either, so be sure to pick up a pair of RCAs or digital coaxial cable to connect these to your system. On the front plate, we have a power button that doubles as a Wi-Fi sync button and a wireless signal LED that indicates if and what you are connected to with different colored blinks. On the right hand side, you'll see 4 preset buttons. You can use these to queue up your favorite track, album, radio station, playlists, etc, etc. You get the point. Moving around to the back panel, we have all the connections you'd expect to see. Stereo line out, digital coax, digital optical, a service port, USB input for a flash drive or external hard drive, an Ethernet port, AC power in, and 2 wireless antenna receptacles. Notice how there is no practical difference between the MXN10 and AXN10 so far, other than size. If you have a keen eye, you may have spotted the text under and above each input labeling them. What's interesting is the top text is flipped upside down. That's so when you are leaning over your equipment trying to wire manage everything, you can read what input is what. Cambridge does this on pretty much all of their gear. Pretty nifty. Both the MXN10 and the AXN10 are equipped with an identical ESS Sabre ES9033Q DAC, capable of 32-bit 768 kHz PCM playback and decoding every format known to man, it feels like. Pause your screen now if you want to read the full list. Arguably more important for most users of this device though, is the compatibility with different streaming services. Supporting the big players, Spotify Connect, Apple AirPlay 2, and Chromecast, pretty much everyone is covered for compatibility. But for people who are looking for high-res playback, we have Tidal Connect, Qobuz, Deezer, and Roon support. My fellow audio snobs will be satisfied. Lastly, you cannot forget about Bluetooth 5.0 support for the people still relying on that, or if you are without internet access for some reason. Support for 2.4 and 5 GHz wireless bands is supported, but if you have terrible Wi-Fi and want to connect still, you can use the Ethernet port on either option. Stream Magic, like I mentioned before, is Cambridge Audio's companion app. You will use this when first setting up any Cambridge Audio device that supports it, especially their streamers. On the bottom of the app are 4 tabs: Home, Library, Radio, and more. Home is where you can select which device you wish to control, manage what source you want to use, view what is currently playing, and set up to 99 presets even though the devices themselves only have 4 buttons. You can also see whatever recent radio stations you've listened to. One thing I don't like in this app is about a third of the Home tab is taken up by a What's New section. I appreciate Cambridge wanting to keep their users informed about their ecosystem, but I feel like it could be done with a less intrusive way. The Library tab is where you can select what music is playing and from what service, server, or USB drive. Interestingly, my Marantz SR5014 home theater receiver was picked up as a server automatically and allowed me to select any audio input and send it to the MXN10 or AXN10. I could see this being useful in a case of transmitting an analog audio source like a turntable to another room with a Cambridge streamer. The radio tab is a hidden gem in my opinion, full of local stations, top 40s, and a multitude of other genres and sections. A nice way to get radio stations without spotty reception of FM or AM radio signals. I personally set my preset 4 on the MXN10 and AXN10 to WHYY, a local NPR station for my morning routine. Testing these two players, I found they were pretty reliable and straightforward enough to use. I hooked them both up in the same stereo system in my office and flipped between them in an A/B comparison, and I'm happy to confirm both sounded great and identical to each other. No surprise there considering how they have identical components on the inside. I listened to my usual lineup, Daft Punk, Oscar Peterson, and Coldplay. For fun, however, I decided to listen to the entirety of Bela Fleck's discography available on Tidal. The Flecktones sounded fantastic. Tidal is my preferred streaming platform at the moment for sound quality and user interface. I really like living in the Tidal app as opposed to any others, so I'm glad that Cambridge has support for Tidal Connect. It lets me navigate a familiar app and layout instead of being forced into an app or software of their creation. I wish more streaming companies embraced this. Here's looking at you, Sonos, Bluesound, and Hios. My only gripe is the lack of multi-room casting and grouping. Ironically, all things Sonos, Bluesound, and Hios excel at. You can get around this by using AirPlay or Chromecast grouping, but it's not natively supported in the StreamMagic app from what I could tell. If you're looking for an easy-to-use, simple-to-understand high-res music streamer, these might be for you. A wide support of formats and services, easy-to-understand connections, and simplistic design. The only question is, which one? Well, for $4.99 and $5.99 respectively, my recommendation would be for the MXN10, at least for most people. The fact of the matter is these two pieces are functionally identical, at least when it comes to feature set and sound quality. They have the same DAC, the same I/O, the same number of presets, and the same interface. That begs the question, why would you want the bigger, more expensive one? Well, if you were stacking standard width AV gear on top of each other, or slotting this into a rack, or even want it to match your other Cambridge audio gear, the AXN10 would look like it fits better. When you're playing Tetris with your AV gear, the AXN10 fills up the whole line instead of just the corner like the MXN10. At the end of the day, both units are a great value. With support for every streaming service one way or another, ample ways to play locally stored music, and the easiest navigation of internet radio stations that I've ever seen, the MXN10 or the AXN10 may be the next addition for your stereo gear. The only question you need to ask yourself is this: does size really matter? Good night, everybody. Thank you for joining me for our review of the Cambridge Audio's MXN10 and AXN10 network streamers. You can learn more about these online at worldwidestereo.com, or if you're in the area, you can stop by our showrooms in Ardmore or Montgomeryville, PA. We offer 60-day returns, free shipping on all orders, and we're authorized dealers for everything we sell. If you have any feedback or questions, leave them in the comment section below, or you can call and email us at any time. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that notification bell to stay updated on our latest videos. This is Chris with Worldwide Stereo. Thanks for tuning in.